Okay, here we go. Can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Okay.
A, apple, A, C, A.
What?
E, ed, E, Pete, E.
Mm-hmm.
O, octopus, O.
Put your sheet out.
O, cone, O.
Hmm?
O, cone, O.
Okay, go ahead.
U, up, U, mule, U, wool, U.
Good.
C, K. OST, post, oast.
Okay.
A, L, all. A, N, and. IND, find, ein.
Uh-huh.
ING, ring, ing. UNK, unk, junk. ANK, bank, ank. ONG, ong, song. UNG, junk, unk.
Check your sheet.
Lung, ung.
Good job, buddy. You are a whiz. Okay. All right. What we're going to do today, in fact, I want to go back to our share again. I'm just going to keep it up here. I'm going to do something on the board, and I'm also going to refer back to our interactive video. I just don't like the way it looks when I'm making my words on the syllable cards. So I'm going to go back and forth here. Okay, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to review our IV, I-V-E, as a suffix. We're also going to review our words ending in S-E and V-E. All right, so when we have, are you going to be able to see this okay, hon? You know what, I'm going to stop my share. It's not going to work. Okay, can you see me better now? Okay. Okay, when we have our IV, I-V-E, as a suffix, we are going to, first of all, you know that V is a letter that cannot stand alone by itself. We need the E at the end of, after the V, okay? We are going to see this in a, only for 1 second. All right, so here we go. All right, so with our suffix, I-V-E, IV, we have to have our E so that the letter doesn't stand, the V does not stand alone. Okay, so the E's job is to help out the V. But when we use IV as a suffix in a word, it is going to change, it's going to be used as an adjective. So first of all, what is this word?
Impress.
Impress, okay. Now I'm going to use this word in a sentence, impress. I will impress you with the way I figured out the word problem, okay? Then I'm going to use the word IV. I'm going to put it as a suffix, and I'm going to change the word. Now what is the word?
Impressive.
Impressive. Now, when the suffix is used at the end of the word, it is usually an adjective, okay? And an adjective describes a noun, all right? So I want you to listen to this sentence. It's a little bit different. The impressive appearance of the building shows that the groundskeeper takes good care of the property. Okay? So when "iv" is used at the end of the word here, it acts as an adjective. Okay? So that's basically the skill here with, and we're going to be practicing a lot of our IVE words in our word list and in our chart. I have another word for us. One sec. How about in this word? What is this word?
Constructive.
Good, constructive. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to our build words. One second. And I want to show you these words. How about if I put this word up here? What is this word?
Den.
Okay, what happens when I add an S to it?
Dens.
Okay, what kind of a syllable is this?
It's a closed.
Very good. Now, what if I add an E to the end of this word? What is this word now?
Dense.
Very good. Okay, again, the job of the E here, this is a closed syllable. Usually when we were talking about the jobs of E, the E comes over and makes our vowel long, but in this case, it does not. In this case, it is a closed syllable, but the reason why we add an E after the S is so people don't get confused and think this is a plural. So they don't think it's dens. So the E is added to the S just for that reason. So people do not, sometimes people get confused. So the E is added so that it is not confused with the plural in the word dense. And this is a closed syllable. I have a couple more words for us. How about oh boy, come on, not. How come my words aren't? I'm going to do clear cards. Okay, how about this word? That's why I did the other. Still not as quick as I'd like to be, Brian, with this. How about this word?
Impulse.
Impulse, very good, impulse. Again, what kind of a syllable is this?
Silent E.
Well, let's look at it. Impulse.
It's
Well, if this was vowel consonant E, then our vowel would be long. Is our vowel long here?
no.
No, what is it? What is it?
It's short.
Short, it is a closed syllable, okay? It is one vowel closed off with at least one or more consonants. But we have our E at the end so that it is not confused with a plural. All right, let's try this one. How come that's not working? All right, there we go. How about this word? How about this word?
Dense.
Good. We practiced that one before, dense. And what kind of a syllable is this?
Closed.
Very good. All right, let's do another one. Wish it was an easier way to do this. I'm going as quick as I can. Okay. All right, how about this word?
Nonsense.
Very good. Nonsense. Again, nonsense. How many syllables in this word?
Two.
Yes, 2 syllables. And our second syllable is closed. All right. And we have our E so that our word is not confused with the plural because it has an S at the end. All right, let's do one more. And then we'll have more practice later. I was going to write these on my whiteboard, but I thought, oh no, let me use this. Okay, how about this word?
Dissolve.
Say it again.
Dissolve.
Oh, very good. Dissolve. Okay, again, it is a closed syllable. Dissolve. And we have our E at the end of our word. And why do we have our E at the end of the word?
So then it's not going to be like
Let's look at it. Look at this letter V. What did we say about V?
a V can't be on the end of a word.
Okay, what does it need to have next to it?
An E.
Good, very good. All right, good job. All right, I did everything there. We'll have some more practice with that. All right. Now we're going to go to our word cards. Let me stop this. All right. Now I'm going to ask you some. A lot of them. Couple review. I'm going to do.
Give. Captive. Involve.
Okay. What letter cannot stand alone?
V.
The word. Good.
Disruptive. Solve.
Good.
Active.
Good.
Instinctive.
Good. Put it with the light on or off. Okay.
Intense.
Good.
Massive.
Very good.
Collapse.
Okay.
Impressive.
At the beginning of it.
Expressive.
Very good. All right. Got these. Some nonsense words.
Grieve.
Read. What kind of a syllable is this?
A silent E.
What do we call that?
Vowel consonant E.
Very good.
Blight.
How about that one?
It's vowel consonant E.
Very good.
Fuse.
Good.
Make. Home. Modes. Smule.
Excellent. You got these.
Safe.
Good. I'm gonna just go through some of these. I know you're doing very well with these. How about these?
Volume.
Excellent. How many syllables in that word?
2.
Okay. And what kind of syllable is that?
It's a vowel consonant E.
Yeah.
Consumes. Sunshine.
Okay.
Excludes.
Good.
Lifespan.
Excellent.
Unsafe. Concludes.
Got this one.
mundane,
Excellent.
foretells,
Mhm.
inspire,
Excellent. What about this one?
transime,
Good. What do we have? What kind of, how many syllables in that word?
2,
Good. And what is our first syllable? What kind of vowel is that?
short,
Hmm?
it's a closed,
Good. Tren. And then how about our second syllable?
it's a vowel consonant E,
Very good. How about this one?
cumbrile,
Excellent. Wow, these are hard words. These are all nonsense words. One more.
drenville,
Good. Oh, let's just do this one hard one.
enfranchise,
Excellent. Good. One more time.
enfranchise,
Good. Okay. I don't think I can trip you up here. One more.
profit-wise,
Good job, buddy. All right, we're gonna breeze through these. I know you know all these. We're going to.
food,
Mhm.
please, nothing, look, took, book, good, goes, because,
You say cause?
because,
Cause.
cause,
Cause because.
goes, going, ever, however, whenever, wherever,
Good job. There's always tricky ones. How about this one?
cause,
Good. All right. You're a whiz, kid. A whiz, whiz, whiz. I'm stopping there because I know you know all these. Okie dokie. All right. Next on our list, open up to page 111, our word list. All right, I want you to read the top middle. Wait one sec. Okay, I want you to read the middle row on the top,
okay,
the middle 5 rows. 1 second. Oh, discombobulated here. Okay. Go ahead, buddy.
solve, tense, immense, expense, involve,
Excellent. Okay, you think you're ready to do the bottom?
yes,
You ready? Okay, buddy, go ahead.
involve, tense, impulse, condense, solve, rinse, shelve, shield,
What was under shelve?
shelve, intense, expanse, dissolve, expanse, expense, nonsense, immense, 12, dense.
Excellent. Good for you, buddy. All right, next time we meet, we're going to do those really hard ones on the next page. 112. Oh, they're not that hard for you. Probably not. All right, good for you, buddy. I will color in your chart. Get that to you too. Okie dokie. Now our sentences on page 115. I'm going to tell you which ones to read, okay?
Okay.
You have them in front of you?
Mhm.
Okay. I want you to read number 1 in your head. Okay, you ready?
On a sudden impulse, Bill quit his job.
A sudden impulse. What do you think that means?
And, like, all of a sudden, Bill just quit his job.
Yeah. Probably just decided one day he doesn't want to work there anymore, and he just said, you know, I'm going to quit. Okay, very, very good. All right, number 2.
Brandon will travel to Wisconsin at his own expense.
I read that one more time.
Brandon will travel to Wisconsin at his own expense.
Good. If you want to scoop that sentence, where would you scoop it?
Brandon will travel to Wisconsin at his own expense.
Yeah. What does that mean?
That, like, Brandon's gonna travel to Wisconsin, but he's gonna pay for his own expenses.
Excellent. He's going to pay his way. Excellent. Very good. I wonder why he's traveling to Wisconsin. Maybe he's going on a family vacation or something. All right, how about number 3? Read it in your head first.
The wind and fire are so intense that no place is safe.
Excellent. Where would you scoop that sentence?
The wind and fire are so intense that no place is safe.
Okay, how many scoops?
3.
Can you do it in 2?
Yes.
Where would you do that?
The wind and fire are so intense that no place is safe.
Excellent. Oh, can you just imagine? I'm visualizing those fires in Arizona, and they have those horrible fires in the heat of the summer in California. And I can just imagine how intense they are. Very scary. Okay, how about number 4?
Because of the dense fog, we could not see anything.
Excellent. How many scoops in that sentence?
2.
Good. The comma helps us too. The comma is like a pause, and it kind of does help us to determine where we're going to scoop it. Have you ever been in dense fog?
Yeah,
You know what that looks like?
like not too much fog.
Dense. Can you see when you have dense fog? Do you think it's easy to see where you're going if you're driving?
No.
No. It's very thick and dense, and it's very hard to see through it. As I said, because of the dense fog, we could not see anything. It was so thick that it's hard to see the person in front of you. It's very dangerous to be driving in dense fog. All right, why don't you look at number 10? That'll be our last one. Read it in your head first.
Will this tablet dissolve if I put it in water?
Will this tablet dissolve? How many scoops in that sentence?
2.
Register it.
Will this tablet dissolve if I put it in water,
Okay, what does that word mean? Dissolve?
like melt?
Melts. It also does something else. Have you ever seen Alka-Seltzer? Or there's another pill that you can put, I don't know whether it's Pepto-Bismol, little tablets. You stick it in the water and it kind of like, almost like fizzes, and it dissolves itself and it permeates through the water. And it just kind of breaks apart like magic. It dissolves. It's really cool. Okay? All right. Put those aside. All right, moving along. All right, now we're going to go back to our quick drill in reverse. Back to our share. Okay, I'm going to put it on random, and I'm going to give you the remote. Okay, and when you're finished, I want you, actually, we're going to do new sound first, and then I want you to keep hitting random. Okay?
Okay.
First do new sound.
Repeat if. What says if?
If IVE.
Job.
Repeat What says
M.
Okay.
Repeat sh. What says sh?
F.
Listen again.
Repeat sh. What says sh?
Repeat the sound, Brian. What says shh?
Sh. SH.
Sometimes she's hard to hear.
Repeat z. What says z?
Z.
Good.
Z.
Hit random.
Well, it says now find more.
Oh, one more. What else says z?
S.
Good. Good job. Hit random.
Repeat d. What says d?
Repeat the
Yeah.
sound.
D.
Good.
Repeat alt. What says alt?
Alt. OLT.
Repeat ah. What says ah?
A.
Repeat What says
N.
Repeat ing. What says ing?
Ing. N. Ing. ING.
Good.
Repeat eh. What says eh?
F. E.
Mhm.
Repeat onk. What says onk?
Onk. O-N-K.
Repeat ch. What says ch?
Ch. C-H.
Repeat x. What says x?
X. X.
Repeat e. What says e?
E. Consonant E.
Excellent.
E. Ed. Ed.
No. What about E? What's the long sound of E?
Well, there's two.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You did do, that would be, this would be Pete. Okay, you're right.
Repeat ank. What says ank?
Ank. A-N-K.
Good.
Repeat ung. What says ung?
Ung. U-N-G.
Mhm.
Repeat ah. What says ah?
Ah. Octopus. O.
Repeat What says
Up. Up.
Okay, stop for a second. You don't have to put, you don't have to give the picture clue. We do that in the second part. We don't have to do that again for quick drill and reverse. I want to stop for 1 second. That one that said, what says E? And you did E, E consonant E, our long sound. That's why that was confusing, because E has two sounds, but short E says eh. So that can be kind of confusing, because what says E? E, E consonant E. You know what I mean? How they were,
Yeah.
yeah,
I knew it was that, but then it also said to find one more.
yeah. That's where I wasn't, that was a little bit confusing. All right, we're gonna stop there, honey. You did very well with this section. We stop our share. And we're gonna go to our spelling practice. Okay, now, I'm not in person with you, so you're gonna have to do your little tapping on your table there to practice some of our spelling before we do it actually in our dictation. So, what says if?
If. I-V-E.
Good, all right. What says, what if I said, what says im?
M-I-M.
Good. All right. How would I spell olive?
Olive. Olive. All. O-L. If. I-V-E.
Excellent. How about give?
Give. 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 Good.
Okay, be careful with that one. Give has one syllable. Okay? Give.
Give.
How do we spell give?
G-I-V.
What do we need? Yes. We cannot stand alone, can it? You cannot stand alone. We need an E at the end. So that's a little, and that's our welded sound, give. Watch. I'll write it for you. Did that the other night. Here's our word give. Okay? Remember our welded sound, we could box it. Okay? Or we could write it like this. Okay? Right?
Yes.
Okay. And is that a closed syllable or a vowel consonant E? Give, if.
Vowel consonant E. Closed.
It's closed, has the short vowel sound, give. Okay? Remember when we went back and we did our marking for give? In our student notebook?
Yes.
We marked it like this. We said, it is closed, it is, look, remember how we, I don't know if you saw that under here. Look. We put a line through that. It is not a vowel consonant E. We put a line through it, okay? And remember, that E, that's an exception. We need that E at the end next to the V because in the English language, a word does not end in V. It needs an E to help it out, okay?
Okay.
All right, how about this one? Spell disruptive.
Disruptive. Disruptive. Dis. D-I-S. Rupt. R-U-P-T. Tiv. Or iv. I-V-E.
Excellent. Disrupt. Rupt. Now I'm going to write it for you, just so you can see it. I know you did it correctly, but I just want you to see it. I just lost my eraser. Okay. Disrupt. Ew. See? Disruptive. How many syllables in that word?
3.
Good. Remember, our iv is a suffix at the end of the word. Okay, let's see. How about spell the word rinse?
Rinse.
Mhm.
Rinse. R-I-N-C-E.
R-I-N.
S-E.
Good. S-E. Good. Rinse. How many syllables in that word?
1.
Rinse. What'd you say?
1.
Good. I banged when you said one. All right, good. How about tense?
Tense. Tense. T-E-N-S-E.
Good. And why do we have an E after the S?
Because then it'll be like a different word.
Why do we have an
Don't
E
put the E.
after?
If you don't put the E, then it's like a completely different word and it sounds different.
It does. But also, the word ends in an S. And what did we say? People sometimes get confused with an S.
And it's going to be like multiple.
Plural. Look, what if I had this word? I'm going to write this word. What's this word?
Tens.
Tens. Okay. Now, I'm going to add an E to it. What's our word?
Tens.
Good. Our S, our E is needed after our S. So people do not get confused and think we're talking about tens, right? We're not
Yeah.
talking about tens, it's tense. We're not talking about tens and ones. We're talking about somebody that's tense, somebody that's all stressed out. All right, like me with my fifth observation, tense. All right, how about impulse?
Impulse. Impulse. I-M. Pulse. P-U-L-S-E.
Excellent. One more. Nonsense.
Nonsense. Non. Sense. Non. N-O-N. Sense. S-E-N-S-E.
Excellente. All right, got your dictation sheet all set up for me?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the lesson number in Substack?
Oh my goodness gracious. Let me get that for you, my friend. We are lesson number, it's 4.4, lesson number 53. Actually, it's really 54 because we had a lesson last night. So put 54. I made a mistake. Okie dokie, my friend. Make sure you have your proofreading procedures from your notebook out. Ready?
Yes.
Remember, you have to repeat the sound after I say it, okay?
Okay.
What says IV?
Is. I-V-E.
Good. And how are we going to write IVE? What are we going to put in front of it?
A dash.
Excellent.
Is this sounds or word elements?
You know what? They're the welded sounds. Just put them on the sounds. That's fine. And we have no nonsense words for 4.4. All right. What says OST?
Oast. O-S-T.
Good. As you're writing it, I want you to spell it out loud too. Okay. So you should be saying OST. O-S-T. O-S-T. Just to get yourself into that habit. All right. What says ang?
Ang. A-N-G.
Good.
A-N-G.
Good. And what are we going to put in front of the ang?
The dash.
Good.
Are dashes supposed to go in front of every single one?
Because these are our welded sounds. I think. Now I'm second guessing myself. I wonder if they're welded sounds. They're not suffixes. Well, it can't hurt. I'll have to find out for sure from Penny. Okay. What says unk?
Onk. O-N-K.
Unk.
Oh, U-N-K.
Yes. Spell it as you write it.
U-N-K.
Excellent. What says ank?
Ank. A-N-K.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna have 8 words altogether. Okay, the word is pensive.
Pensive. P-E-N-S-I-V-E.
Okay, so you're gonna say pen, P-N,
P-E-N.
sieve, and then spell it. You have to make sure you're going to spell them in syllables and spell them out loud as you're writing.
Okay.
Okay, ready for this one?
Yes.
A tricky one. Ostensive.
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 Ostensive. O-S. Tense. T-E-N-S-E. Ive. I-V-E. Ostensive.
Okay. It's a little bit tricky. What do you hear? Ostensive.
O-S-T-E-N-S-I-V-E.
Yes. Ostensive. I can see where you put that E, but it would look funny to have the E next to the I. Okay. Ostensive. Okay, spell that one more time.
O-S. Tense. T-E-N-S. Ive. I-V-E.
Good job. Next one. Expanse.
Expanse. X-E-X. Pants. P-E-N-S-E.
Expanse.
P-A-N-S-E.
Excellent. Expanse. Good. Next one. Dense.
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 Dense. D-E-N-S-E.
Excellent. 12.
12. 12. T-W-E-L-E. T-W-E-L-V-E.
Excellent. Why did you put that E there?
Because then it will be a nonsense word.
Well, what about the V? Can a word end in V?
No.
No. What does it need after it?
An E.
All right, next word. Inflective.
Inflective. N-I-N. Flect. F-L-E-C-T. Ive. I-V-E.
Excellent, Brian. That was really good. Okay, ready? Combustive.
Combustive. C-O-M. Bust. B-U-S-T. Ive. I-V-E.
Good. One more. Lapse.
Lapse. L-A-P-S. Lapse.
Spell it again, hon.
L-A-P-S.
What do we need at the end of our S?
E.
Good. This is, now I know why you did that. You're thinking I'm talking about lapse in a pool. Guess what lapse I'm talking about? A lapse in time. There was a lapse in time between the party and the reception. Lapse. Different word.
Is there any word elements?
No, we're not doing them tonight. We're just doing our welded sounds. Okay, so how did you spell lapse?
L-A-P-S-E.
Good. All right, move along. We have 3 phrases and 2 sentences, and then we'll have to proofread. Okay, listen to our phrase. An important job.
An important job.
Mhm. So I want you to, as you're writing it, I want you to spell it out for me.
An A-M. Important. M-I-M-P-O-R-T-A-N-T. Job. J-O-B.
How did you spell Anne?
A-N.
Good. All right, next one. Found my name.
Found my name. Found, F-O-N-D. My,
Found.
oh, F-U. O-U. F-O-U-N-D.
Good job, buddy.
M-Y name, N-A-M-E.
Good. Last one. Will walk around.
Will walk around. Will, W-I-L-L. Walk, W-A-L-K. Around, A-R-O-U-N-D.
Excellent. Okay, you ready for our sentences?
Yes.
We'll go back and proofread everything. All right, number one. It is important to have a constructive talk with Dad about his strict rules.
It is important to have a constructive talk to Dad about his rules.
Okay, listen to it one more time. It is important to have a constructive talk with Dad about his strict rules. Can you repeat it again?
No.
It is important to have a constructive talk with Dad about his strict rules. Repeat it back to me.
It is important to have a constructive talk with Dad about his strict rules.
Excellent. Ready? Ready for number two?
Yes.
The pink and white rosebuds are distinctive.
The pink and white rosebuds are instinctive.
Okay. Let's go back to our words. I want you to read the list of words to me. And then we're going to scoop the syllables to proofread. Okay, start with pensive.
Pensive. Pensive.
Just read the whole list and then we'll go back and do each one.
Ostensive. Advance. Dense. 12. Inflective. Combustive. Lapse.
Good. Now I want you to scoop the syllables in pensive. Okay. Can you spell them again for me?
Pen, P-E-N, sieve, S-I-V-E.
Good. Do your next one. Scoop your syllables. How many syllables do we have in that word?
2.
In pensive, yes. How about ostensive?
3.
Good. What are your syllables?
Os, O-S, O-S, tens, T-E-N-S, iv, I-V-E.
Good. Do the next one.
Expanse, X-E-X, expanse, T-A-N-S-E.
Good. Are you scooping?
Yes.
Okay. Next one.
dense, D-E-N-S-E,
Okay, how many syllables in that word?
1.
Good. How about the next one?
12, T-W-E-L-V-E,
Good. How about the next one?
inflective, N-I-N-flect, F-L-E-C-T, iv, I-V-E,
Excellent.
combustive, con, C-O-N, bus, B-U-S-T, iv, I-V-E,
Good.
lapse, L-A-P-S-E.
Excellent. Okay. With your phrases, I want you to circle your high frequency words. You know what they are?
No.
Okay. Important. Found. And around. Okay. Do you have your sheet out? Your punctuation sheet?
Yeah.
Okay. This is our checklist. Let's look at our sentence. We're going to read our sentence again. Number 1.
It is important to have a consensual talk with Dad about his strict rules.
Okay. To have a what kind of a talk?
Constructive.
Okay. Constructive. You didn't say that. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to scoop our sentences. First of all, we're going to check our punctuation. Do we have a capital letter?
Yes.
Do we have a period?
Yes.
Okay. Let's scoop our sentences. Where would you scoop that sentence?
It is important to have a constructive talk with Dad about his strict rules.
Good. How many scoops?
4.
Really?
You could do 3.
Could you try it in 2? Two or 3, but 2 might. How about, it is important to have a constructive talk with Dad about his strict rules. What do you think about that? Where else where did you want to put your scoops?
It is important to have a constructive talk with Dad about his strict rules.
Okay, that works too. That works too. Either one. Let's see. We circled our, we found our, do we have any prefixes and suffixes in our sentence? Look for that. Did we tap all of our one-syllable words to check our spelling? Yes, we did. Did we scoop our multisyllabic words? Yes. Did we scoop our sentence into phrases and read them aloud? Yes. Did we mark any of our words? What could we do with constructive? How could we mark constructive?
Constructive,
Okay.
closed, closed, closed.
Constructive. Okay, so you just could put scoops underneath. You did 3 scoops. How about his strict rules? All right, how about under our if for constructive, I would put it is a closed syllable, but I would put our vowel consonant E with a line through it. And how we mark our IVE with our vowel consonant, It's not a vowel consonant E. It is closed, but that's how we kind of mark is. That's how we learned how to mark it. All right, let's do number 2. We can get moving. We're getting late here. Let's reread number 2. And we'll scoop our sentence.
The pink and white rosebuds are extinctive.
So where would you scoop that?
The pink and white rosebuds are extinctive.
Can you say that word distinctive for me?
Extinctive.
Say it again.
Extinctive.
Say it in syllables.
Extinctive.
Distinctive. How did you spell distinctive?
D-I-S-T-I-N-C-T-I-V-E.
Good. I guess it's the audio. I just didn't hear you. It almost sounded like you said X, but you spelled it correctly. Good job, bud. Okay, we are going to, hopefully we did everything we were supposed to do. We read them aloud. We circled. Okay, I think we're good. All right, now go to our story. I read a story last night. Good job making a mental movie and telling me what you were visualizing. But we're going to dig a little deeper tonight to help us update our mental movie from yesterday. Okay? We had a lot going on in that story. So I'm just going to go back, kind of reread some sections that we could talk about, okay? Because what we want to do, we want to really, really envision this story so we can retell it with a little bit more description. All right. We talked about the title, Mom Puts the Brakes on Son's Promising Gymnastics Career, and you nailed it right away. You said, you know, Mom might stop it because you know about brakes, so that you kind of, it's kind of a catchy title. When I read the beginning of this, have you ever had a passion for a hobby or sport? Perhaps you loved taking part in that hobby or sport, but you had to give it up for some reason. It made me think, you know, what was the reason? And your reason, when I asked you yesterday, you said, remember what you said? You remember? You said maybe it was too much money. Maybe something was too much money. Okay. And I was thinking, you know, well, maybe it could have been maybe something, maybe wasn't healthy, or maybe it was too time consuming. Financial reasons would be something that you'd have to give something up. So that's what made me think about that. And it would have to be probably pretty serious to have to give up something that you really, really love. Probably very disappointing too. So that kind of made me really think when I was reading that first paragraph. Also, imagining when you are very young, when you're a baby and you start climbing onto things, and you feel at a young age that you want to try gymnastics, and you kind of start acting like a gymnast when you're a baby. I thought that was kind of cool. So I was trying to picture too, in the next paragraph, when it was saying that when he finally got the chance to try the sport of his dreams, he was instantly hooked. What does that mean to you, instantly hooked?
Like instantly, like wanted to keep doing it.
Yeah. Like when you started gymnastics, were you instantly hooked with gymnastics? You knew you wanted to go back? He wanted to keep doing it. So you were instantly hooked. Yeah. And when it said that Christoph enjoyed the adventure of it, trying new moves and conquering his fear, I wasn't picturing when I was reading that he was scared of doing gymnastics. Were you? Did you think that? Conquering his fear? Did he sound like he was scared of gymnastics? No, he didn't. So he had enjoyed the adventure, and he was really talented at it. We were reading about how he, people said, "Oh, you're going to get a college scholarship. You're just so good and you're so talented." He had such big dreams, and but something happened to him as he got older. He got bigger and too big for the sport. His increasing size led to more and more injuries. Now I'm imagining gymnasts are kind of thin, not very heavy, because they have to be able to move around. So I'm thinking, too big for the sport, he probably felt a little maybe out of place. You think maybe he felt a little out of place since he was too big? Now, do you see people at gymnastics that are very, very big? Are they big? Too big for the sport, or are they no? What do you think?
I feel like he's like too tall. Because a lot of gymnasts are short.
Okay, too tall. So what would happen if you're a gymnast and you're too tall? What do you think could happen to you?
And you like hit the floor
Okay.
and like be too tall.
Or maybe you'd hit your head when you're going over the bars and stuff. Maybe. All right. So I'm thinking he's probably feeling like he's out of place a little bit. So we knew that Christoph was a gymnast right from the start, right? Because he was walking on his hands when he was a baby. Remember when we read that? And it said that, let's see, when he was a baby, all of the little kids in the class were walking on their hands too. And he looked like he fit right in because that's what Christoph used to do too. So he knew, his parents felt, it said his parents knew he had found a place where he belonged. So they knew he really fit in with all the other people that had the same interests. Christoph liked doing all the flips and twists that go along with gymnastics. He understood there was an element of risk to the sport. An element of risk. What do you think that means, element of risk?
Like a lot of risks.
What is a risk?
Not being able to do something or like.
How about, what I'm imagining an element of risk to a sport, but he found it exciting. I'm imagining something that's dangerous. Something that if he did a move on a trampoline or up on one of those high bars, he could really get hurt. So even though you love something, there's an element of getting hurt while doing it, right?
Yes.
So he was getting very, very competitive, and he was going to the gym 5 to 4 days a week, 4 to 5 hours a day. And he was part of a Future Stars program. And he really, really was very, very dedicated to the sport. So although, and I did read here in this paragraph that although he was working so many hours at the gym and his parents were dedicating so much time, his grades did not suffer at all. He found time to complete his homework because he didn't want it keeping him from gymnastics practice. So that's telling me this boy, Christoph, was very, very dedicated. He was probably organized, and he probably didn't want his mom to say, you know, if this is interfering, can I see your face, hon? You're kind of like down in your chair. I guess he didn't want his parents to say that he couldn't do gymnastics anymore. So that's why he kept up with his studies. So that really impressed me a lot about Kristoff. When it came time to this, in the story where they were telling us that he traveled from state to state and let's see, what was this? She noticed Kristoff began to grow out of the sport quite literally because of his size. And an athlete has to have a specific body type. So this was a problem for Kristoff, wasn't it? He was getting to be too big. But the problem, the worst problem here that we were having is that he was experiencing a lot of injuries because of his size. And some of them were very serious. It said that his injuries became more substantial when Kristoff got gymnast wrist. Have you ever heard of gymnast wrist? Have you ever heard of that? Well, it sounds to me like it says his wrist bones started fracturing and the fractures fell into his growth plate. Have you ever heard of a fracture before? Yes, a fracture is when you break tendons or muscles in your wrist. So he fell off the high bar and broke his leg in 3 places. But the injuries didn't faze him. You know, I was thinking about that word phase. What do you think it means?
Like, it didn't bother him.
No. Doesn't that seem strange? He's getting hurt. He's breaking his wrist. He's fracturing his wrist. He's got gymnast wrists, and it doesn't faze him? He really, really loves this sport so much that he doesn't mind that he's getting hurt. Isn't that kind of remarkable? He keeps doing it and doing it. So with all these injuries, nothing stopped him. So now his mom is getting very, very worried. And I read here that he kept going on, even though he's getting these injuries. He went on for another year. But Kristoff had a hard time doing math because he had a level 4 concussion. Now, a level 4 concussion sounds very serious to me. Have you ever heard of a concussion before? You know what that is? What is it?
Like when your brain gets bruised.
You know what happens in a level 4 concussion? You can lose consciousness for more than 1 minute. That's very serious. So I think we're coming to a serious thing where Kristoff has a problem here. So despite this level 4 concussion, do you remember when he visited the Olympic Museum in Switzerland? He went to Switzerland. He went to Central Europe. This is how much traveling this boy has done. That's a lot of traveling. And he experienced a problem in Switzerland. He began doing some handstands just for fun, but it was very, very painful. So his mom took him for x-rays and revealed splinters of bone in between his wrists. So his wrists were splintering. So that to me sounds like very, very serious. So mom is now very, very concerned. So she said that he couldn't do gymnastics anymore. How do you think you would feel if your mom and dad said, if you were kept getting hurt and you couldn't do gymnastics anymore? How do you think that you would feel? How do you think you would feel? Would you be, you kept getting hurt, you couldn't do it anymore. How do you think you'd feel?
Sad.
Yeah. Kristoff was sad too. He understood in this case that he understood and he was mature enough. It said that gymnastics was hurting his body. And his mom was sad because it said that his mom wanted to support her son in all of his endeavors, but she couldn't risk run the risk of Kristoff getting seriously hurt again. Do you know what that means, that word endeavor?
Like
Supporting him in all of his endeavors. What does that mean to you?
supporting him like every big decision that he makes.
Yeah. Or things that he wants to do, all of his into his efforts is things that he wants to do to succeed in life. So, but there's something that good that happened in a bad situation. It said that Kristoff said that there are moments when he's a little bitter about having to had quit the sport that he loves so much. He was a little bit angry. But he's still a great athlete who excels at swimming, wrestling, and playing rugby. So despite the fact that he had to quit something that he really, really loved, he's beginning to discover that gymnastics isn't his only sport. He's got other things that he could be good at. So when I was just kind of, reading these, going through this again and thinking, I was just jotting down a couple little notes. I was just in my little chicken scratch here. I just, know that he had dreams when he was a young boy, and he was dreaming of being a gymnast from the time he was a baby, and then he began getting bigger, and he was having concussions. So I was level 4 concussion really kind of scared me a little bit, and then the fractures and the splints in his wrist and between his. I'm thinking this is not a very good sport for Kristoff to continue if he was going to remain healthy. So can we just close our eyes again and just kind of rethink? I know I talked a lot. Just close your eyes and try to go back and see if that kind of helped you clarify a little bit more, give you a better mental movie about what Kristoff was feeling, how he must have felt. And when you're ready, see if you're able to go back and tell me with a little bit more of a deeper understanding what this story was about.
So it was like this kid, and he was like a baby, and he was like jumping off of things and climbing around, and his parents decided to put him in gymnastics, and he loved it. And like all the other kids, he was walking on his hands the first day, and so then he like kept going up and kept like going higher and higher, like doing it more and more. And he went 5 days a week, 4 to 6 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And he like got a lot of injuries, and he like still loved the sport, so he kept going on with it. And then he got a level 4 concussion, and then he like couldn't do math anymore. And then he went to Switzerland at the Olympic Museum, and he did a handstand walk for fun, and his wrist really hurt. So they went to the doctors and got x-rays, and it was like bits and pieces of his wrist in between like different parts of his wrist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then how did the story end?
And then he like stopped doing the sport,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went to do different sports like rugby swimming,
Mhm.
and more.
Mhm.
And he loved them. And then he realized that there was more sports than just gymnastics.
Mhm. Very good. Very good. Oh my gosh, your retail was so much better tonight than yesterday. We just see how when we really stop and think and visualize it and try to really imagine what was going on. Now, I think we could do a lot with this story as far as story structure goes beyond today. Maybe our next session, we could even go a little bit. But in thinking about this story, there was a lot of cause and effect in this story. That were you thinking that when you were reading a lot of causes as an effect? I kind of just did a little, just wrote some notes here about some causes and effect. And I was, what happened as his size increased? What was the effect of that?
He got more and more injuries.
Yeah. And mom was really worried too, right? And, as he got older, what was happening to his body?
He kept like growing and like getting bigger.
Yeah. And what was the effect of him getting bigger?
He didn't think that he fit in the sport.
And also, what was happening with the injuries?
They kept getting worse.
Yeah, it was increasing his too big for the sport was increasing his risk of injuries, right? And then what was happening though with the increasing of his hours at the gym?
It kept like leading to more injuries.
Okay, and what else effect did that have?
It like was hard for his parents to drive him.
It was very time consuming. They did say it was more time spent away from home, right? But he was able to maintain something in school. What was he able to maintain?
His grades.
Yeah. Sometimes I know with my daughters, the busier they are, the more disciplined they are. When you have to go to practice, especially with you, Brian, you have to get all your work done before you go. So you become very disciplined. And sometimes if you're not busy, sometimes maybe you would put your homework off. So that's a good thing. So what was the effect? So he quit gymnastics, but what was the effect of that?
He found different sports that he loved.
Yeah. Like what? It opened up other.
Like rugby,
Yeah.
swimming,
Yeah.
etc.
Wrestling. Yeah. It opened up other doors. So every cause had an effect. Some were positive, some were negative, some were good for his body, some were not good for his body. So I think that was one element of story structure that kind of stuck out to me. Because every story has a problem. But as you read through a story, there are solutions to the problem. And I think at the end, Christoph ended up okay, didn't he? Thankfully, he didn't get injured for life. He could have been injured for life and wouldn't have been able to do any sport. He's very lucky that he was able to continue doing sports. I know there's some athletes that get hurt and that's it for them. Especially if the football players hurt their knees, they're out. They're out for the season. So he's a very lucky boy. All right, you did an excellent job tonight, Brian. I kept you really, really long. And we will be in touch to see when we're going to meet again. Okay. I'm going to be away next week, but I'll talk to your mom. We could set up a Zoom while I'm away. Okay. Have a great night. I'm so proud of you. We're almost done. 4.4. Okay. We're going to do our end of step assessment maybe by next week. And then we're going to start step 5. Okay.
Okay.
Excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a trooper. Really proud of you. Have a good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.